Alright, yo, what's up, y'all? This is our second edition of the Black Atheist Roundtable in DC, and you guys are welcome to join us next time. So we wanted to address a couple of the things that have gotten brought up many times since our last video, and the first one of which is why we feel like the need to distinguish ourselves as Black atheists. I'll just leave it there, and we'll talk about that. So,
I think it's important because, well, first of all, I don't think the label means what people might think we mean by singling out the fact that we're Black atheists or having a Black atheist gathering. I think it's just bringing focus to the fact that most Black people are religious, in America at least. And it's not so much that we're separating ourselves from just atheists in general, which is what all atheists are. I mean, we're all just atheists. We're all different. We all don't believe the same things, but the one thing we have in common is that we lack a belief in a God or gods. And the fact that we talk about Black atheism or gather with a title called Black atheism, which is basically just three dudes sitting in a room talking. But we're not saying that we're any different than any other atheist. It's just bringing to attention the fact that our community, the Black community in America, is so riddled, just riddled with theism. A lot of Black people, Black atheists, don't have the confidence to come out and to be real about it and let people know about it.
So that's the other thing that you jump in after that is like because of the fact that Black culture is so theistic, like our lived experience as atheists or lived experience as people doubting religion and coming to atheism is different than people who grew up in environments that were less hostile towards ideas like that. And so we have different experiences that we want to share, and we don't feel like they're out there or that other people are sharing them. So we feel like this is valuable.
You stole my thunder. We're atheists. Just happen to be blind. We just bring our experience, our life's experience, to this. It's not much more than that. It's not like we're trying to separate ourselves out. We're just coincidentally the atheists that happen to have brown skin, right? And we bring a certain perspective. We have a different perspective growing up in our environment.
Yeah, it's more so that we just want to make sure this voice has a seat at the table, and then it's not ignored. Because most times when you watch an atheist-theist debate, you see a white guy representing atheists, and not that we're unhappy with that. We're perfectly happy with that, because regardless of the color, they kick the shit out of the theists. But it's just like the rhetoric that's used in atheist campaigns and all that kind of stuff is based on a certain perspective, and it targets a certain demographic, and we just want to, make sure that we have diverse opinions about this. I think every movement kind of goes through it. Feminism went through it. And so I don't think this is anything out of the ordinary. But definitely not trying to segregate ourselves. We want to start meeting with white atheist groups sooner than later.
I do that.
Right. And so, that's that. So I hope that answers all the people that were talking about that. The other thing I really wanted to talk about, we have an ex-military guy.
Air Force for a minute and Navy.
All right.
Mostly Navy.
So there's a saying that there's no atheists in foxholes, and I guess I'll let him take it away. But just general premise of that statement is like when shit really hits the fan, that you're not gonna not believe. You're gonna pray. You're gonna beg God to spare you or whatever it is that you're supposed to do.
So, first of all, I wasn't as openly as I am now. I kind of kept it to myself, and for most instances, it wasn't. Nobody asked you outright, do you believe in God or whatever. But mainly, especially going through training, you had to go to chapel on Sundays, and as a basic trainee, you went.
Yeah.
And you didn't stand out. You just kind of sat there, and most guys napped to catch up on sleep that they were getting. So, but once you got out out into the fleet, got out of the training environment, it didn't come out that often. But I always had this weird feeling that I had guys who, I'm a pilot, and I flew Navy airplanes, but we always had guys who, they had no problem dropping. I always wondered how they could get over the fact that dropping, dropping bombs on people. I just never understood that.
Right.
And with that onward Christian shoulder thing, where you're carrying a spear for the Lord type deal, that allowed them, I guess, to press on with that. I don't have a whole lot of comment about it, but just to say the fact that it wasn't a lot, it wasn't in your face. I did get some weird looks when I went to get my dog tags for the first time, and the gentlemen, they automatically assume you have a religion, Baptist, and black, assume they're ready to put, they're about to stamp Baptist on your thing, and I just said none, and just kind of gave me a double take, and he did it. But I'm sure probably other folks have different experiences, but I much rather the person act instead of start praying when it's.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Were you ever in like a real sticky situation?
No. It gets to the point where you train so much, it's almost secondary. When I got a couple of engine fires on planes, and you kind of get into that training mode. Yeah, you get into that training mode. Huh?
Does anyone pray when that happens?
No. It's for strange like nobody prays. Everybody kind of
nobody does.
1, 2, 3, you do procedure, you shut it down, you divert. Somebody's talking on the radio, so nobody stops and starts saying a prayer. At least I never had that experience.
It's quite interesting. Movies would have you believe differently. Everyone starts praying when the plane starts going down. But well, that's interesting. All right. So yeah, like I said, Pat Tillman, the most famous casualty since September 11th, was an atheist.
I really wanted.
They didn't want that to come out, and then kind of told some stories about how he died. It's not true, but it's something that has bugged me for the longest time that they question your conviction that deeply. I'll move on.
The Air Forces, I know the Air Forces have some major problems where people have lost command. The Air Force Academy, where they've really been proselytizing.
Yeah.
It's gotten over the top, and I think when it really hit the fan, there was a Jewish student who was being harassed.
Yeah.
Basically saying, they were literally telling the other cadets, you're going to hell if you don't convert. And he wrote a couple complaint letters via whistleblower type deal, and that's brought the attention. People have to get relieved of command because the uppers were promoting this stuff. And you think the Air Force Academy is in Colorado, and that's a huge for that focus on the family group, and it was influencing these military
folks. And I know there's a lot of fundamentalists that want to discriminate on religion, like for military service. They think if you're not Christian, that you don't have the best interest of the country in mind, and they don't want you. It's absurd, but yeah. All right, so another thing. The role of women in atheist movements, especially black atheist movements, and why there's a lack of them. I'm throwing that over here first.
I don't know.
Do you have any ideas? I have one or two ideas as to why.
Well, I have. I've seen this, and not that I came with myself, but I've seen a couple of talks kind of on this subject where the women may show up for the initial talk or get together or meet up group or something, but every guy, she may just want to talk and talk about atheism, but every guy was basically hitting on her, basically in a nutshell, hitting on her. Exactly. And they would never come back. So that's one of the problems.
That could be one. But like even if you when you look at Pew poll or whatever, any other kind of places that do polls like that, religious self-identification polls, women aren't as atheist as men. We're about 35 to 50% more atheist than women as men. In every race too, there's more atheist men than women by percentage. So it's not just that. I think there's a couple things. I think one, women are taught to be docile. Atheists are pretty much being resistant to the dominant culture, which is hard to do if you're passive because people will just keep feeding the conventional ideas into you. And I think that's one of them. And another one, just the way we socialize women to be quite emotional, and emotions and spirituality to me are quite tied. So I think you have those two things, and then sadly, but it's already changed. But historically, women are far less educated than men, and I think that a certain level of competence is needed. Reading comprehension is needed to really combat religious ideas, or else you're kind of just stuck. But really want more women to come out and express their views, because religion is quite hostile towards women, in my opinion. They have every reason, in the same way we feel it's hostile to people with dark skin. I think it's quite hostile to you. If you look at what marriage kind of is in the Bible, it's not very nice. But yeah, we want to encourage more women to come out. We'd love to have some come out here, share some stuff with you guys. We know black women are very, very far and few between when it comes to black atheists. Let me give a shout out to Ayana though. She's one. And Alright, and so Republican primary. This perfect chance to discuss politicians appealing to religion. You see Bachman do it. She's like, I'm gonna consider what God says to me and think about it. And you see other people doing it, and just want to talk about if we think that's okay, why do we think they do that? And then after that, why don't they appeal to us? Of course, the Republicans aren't going to appeal to us anyway, but no politician is going to appeal to us, really. There may be some local ones, but none in federal or national elections that do it. So either one of y'all.
I mean, it's on some popularity contest type thing, man. I mean, it's majority rules when it comes to that. So the majority of Americans are religious. Why not pander to them? Even if it's a potential that we have more representatives that are atheists.
Oh, I think there's not a question about that. There's one that says he's an atheist.
Exactly.
There's got to be more than one.
And it's disgusting that they play to the religious beliefs of the majority of the country. I find that despicable, but it keeps you in power, and that's what people want to hear. They want to hear that you've been appointed by God and that you're a believer. And you never told a lie. You never cheated on your wife. Wasn't there.
Even if you did, you've been forgiven and
right.
Gingrich, he's out there, man. Yeah,
he's 42 times.
Yeah, exactly.
And
cheated on his wife because he was under too much stress.
Yeah, he cared so much about America.
So hard, man.
He loves America so much.
I'm sure his wife will say, "Oh, in that case, it's okay." What?
I love America so much. I gotta get some outside pussy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
The logic.
You know,
that's a
but they
thing.
do appeal to like specific religions that are much smaller demographic than this. I won't even say atheist. This time I'll broaden out to the term that I hate very much, but non-religious people. They're like 12 to 15% of the population. That's as big a demographic as anything except for white, man, woman, and Catholic. Other than that, non-religious is the biggest demographic, and no one touches it. I mean, I find it weird. There's obviously lots of appeals to the Jewish community and Zionist community, especially, where it's real stuff all the time. But then there's even stuff to Muslims and the Mormons and whatnot. So, I mean, it just we have to do something about it. Like, it really sucks that we only have the two parties, because it's hard to get the one party that we almost necessarily have to vote for to pander to us at all, because we necessarily have to vote for them.
To answer your first question, no, I don't think it's all right. Either, man. I think it needs, but I think it shows though how much religion is a decision-making force.
Yeah.
I mean, people use it to base their life. I mean, they use it when they're voting. I really don't even understand how. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right to even pander to those types of people. Yeah. But it shows how much religion is infused with just the mind of people, the mind of Americans, and how it's actually a factor in the decisions that the politicians that they put in the power.
I never went to church. Right. All right. So in church, I know they're not supposed to talk politics or tell you who to vote for. Was that the case?
Local politics would always show up.
All right.
And I think it's worse today. But back then I was younger. I didn't really pay too much attention. We always had, Representative so-and-so coming to church today. The place would be packed. And you'd get them all riled up.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, I wish it wasn't that way, but
I was too young when I went to church. I never really was a regular churchgoer, but the most church I went to was when I was in elementary school. So I wasn't even involved in politics. I didn't even know what was going on, really. I didn't believe, I was questioning the faith and the religion itself at that time. So I was just like, man, this is boring. Why is everyone here? Yeah. Why am I here? Why do I have to wake up so early?
Why can't I watch football?
Yeah. Man, that wafer is
a pregame show.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, religion has allowed people to vote on one issue like abortion.
Yeah.
They've done a good marketing job on that.
Yeah,
they won't consider anything on that. Yeah.
It's like, fuck everything else. God wants you to vote on this issue, and we got that issue.
Yeah, we got that.
No, it's not good.
I know a family member of mine, I think right before the November elections, I went over their house and they came from church with a campaign card with someone's name on it, talking about they were passing this out after church, right outside.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote for this guy.
Wow.
We got to get Harry Reid out of there.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Sounded like a zombie, man, the way he was telling me.
Wow.
It's like, you just parenting right now, man.
Yeah.
Straight up, you just parenting.
Well,
you don't even know what you're talking about.
See, I
was gonna say this could be fixed really quickly. I think it's getting worse. I think the Bush administration used it ideally, where they would just sit outside the church, off the property. They knew the right signal, the buzzword to say, which candidate be. But the fact that the IRS and the who's been voting people aren't pressuring, if you push these things, push this agenda, you will lose your tax exempt status.
Yeah.
They will leave it alone.
Right.
They will leave it alone. I can't think of the last time somebody was actually punished for doing that.
The Mormons took it to a whole
Prop 8.
Whole new level. You talked about Prop 8. Only time you can get conservatives and blacks to vote together is when it's time to hate on gays.
Yeah. Well, Maryland
gays, man.
Maryland was just close to passing allowing gays to get married here, and then at the last, the churches got spun up.
Yep.
You know, they're gonna sit outside the people, and they scare the politicians, and they back down.
Yeah, it's sad, man.
And it's really something to watch blacks picking against taking anybody's rights away. The
Yeah,
irony.
man.
You know, we are the last people that need to discriminate.
Yeah, that shit burns, man.
60 years ago, that was us on the other side of that, you know.
And my friend might never forgive me for saying this, but I'm gonna put him out there. Like he's like one of my best friends. We have mutual like lesbian friends and gay friends and all that. He does not hate them, but like he's a black dude. He's still for civil unions and against marriages. And I'm like, why? He's like, because they're the same thing. They don't need to get married. And I was like, that's terrible. And I was like, that's like saying for colors only. You know, he was like, no, it's not. I was like, yes, that's why you're making a distinction between them. Like, both those water fountains dispense water, but I mean, and it really, really bothers me. You know, we really need to get that together. And if we allow if we allow people, yo, what else?
Yes.
Like you get to that. I mean, we talked about this last time, but you get to the root of the problem, man. I mean, where is the justification for the homophobia? I mean, where's the justification for making it okay for a man and a woman to marry and not okay for a man and a man to marry? Yeah. And what is the problem with that? I really don't. I think that's one thing that I swear the topic of homosexuality stings the most, man. When I'm thinking about how we discriminate against them and ostracize them, man. Really, for what? I don't get it, man.
They get into things like equality. We know, it's rooted in the religions. Yeah. But they get into things they get into things like, well, it's. I hate to say, we see some base arguments coming from a lot of black people. It's like, well, it's not natural. I'm like, well, wearing glasses is not natural.
Pacemaker's not natural.
Yeah.
Taking your diabetes medication.
It's not natural. Exactly. So, they have that wall for that one particular thing.
I mean, even when you come to that statement, not natural. I mean, I don't get that. Isn't everything natural? And when you think about it, it's all fucking nature. We got everything from this fucking planet.
Yeah, not according to that.
Yeah, we got everything from this planet.
According
from
to them,
nature.
God rained manna down from heaven, ran stuff into existence and whatnot. But I mean,
stupid, man.
I think that concept's stupid. I do think religion helps aids people in voting more conservative, pushes them to vote more conservative, which includes blacks for those issues.
What party do you guys think Jesus would be in if he was? What would he sit today?
Definitely,
he'd be a liberal.
He'd definitely be a Democrat.
He'd be a Democrat. I think.
So. I mean, he'd be maybe like a socialist to me, but like Bernie Sanders, like an independent socialist.
Bernie.
He definitely would not be, cutting taxes on rich people so they could be richer.
Yeah.
Does not make sense. He definitely would. I thought he believed in equality. That's what they preach anyhow. Like, he definitely wouldn't be for all these conservative ideals that maintain the status quo of complete inequality.
I think he's definitely for the death penalty, though.
Yeah.
No question about that.
No question about that. Definitely for the death penalty. Right, he hated the bankers, right? Like, how could he be a conservative today? He was like, you guys are changing fucking money. Fuck this shit.
Yeah,
like, threw the table over.
Yeah.
So it's no way you can be conservative. But, like, back to the broader issue, I do think it's like a dangerous game, like the politics in church. You see how it can manipulate people in the voting, and it's antithetical to what our country stands for, and the more we lose sight of that, I think the worse off we all are going to be. Right. So, world didn't end. We're all happy about that, I suppose. There's a couple interesting things about this guy. I were talking earlier. Dude made millions and millions and millions of dollars from this nonsense, and I mean, it just begs a lot of questions. Like, who are these people that give this guy money? And, you know, it's. I want to refrain from calling them all stupid or sheep or something like that. But it's, to me, a sad fact of reality that this guy can make up the worst formula I've ever seen and make millions off it. And he predicted the world was going to end in '94. And he did it again, and he made money. And it's just, to me, it's just, I don't understand it. I think it's crazy.
When I see the formula, I swear it's satire. I swear, I don't even know which one is the real formula. I feel like it's all a joke.
Yeah.
You can't be serious. That's just hilarious.
It's laughing to the bank, though.
Yeah, to the bank, man.
But, like, it's like, so who are these people? And if these are the people, like these anonymous people that give this guy these hundreds of millions of dollars, these are the people that vote in elections, like, how fucked are we? To a certain degree. And then in another way, how do we change that? How do we let these people know you're being taken for a ride? You know, I read articles about people in his congregation quitting their jobs.
And one woman not on his congregation, but she cut her daughter straight open and tried to kill herself.
Yeah, killed two of her daughters.
Yeah.
And then killed herself.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's scary.
This kind of hysteria and false belief, or whatever you want to call it, that this guy got wealthy off of, it's dangerous to other people. There's real negative, real life consequences to other people when you get them all riled up and they act like the world's gonna end, or they think the world's gonna end. I don't know. I don't know what this obsession with the apocalypse is. You guys have any idea?
I mean, it's fear. It's totally fear driven. I mean, number one, that's the foundation. I think it's just fear of death, man.
Yeah.
I don't see why. I mean, we talked about this last time. I don't see how someone would want to live forever. It doesn't make sense. Especially when you talk about how it's described, how eternity is described.
Yeah.
In some of the holy books, man. I mean, they want him to come. Christians want Jesus to come back, get rid of all negativity, and just live in positivity for eternity. Yeah, come back with the sword. So someone's getting stabbed, and they want to see that happen. They want to see all those people that ain't rolling with him not be around as they live in eternity and praise God every single fucking day.
Yeah.
And just real quick, especially when I think of Islam itself, the promise of, I'm just talking about fear of death and stories made up with that. The 72 versions promise, I guess it is. I don't know what it is. What is that? Rewards. Let's call it a reward. The 72 versions reward. What the fuck is that, man? Let's really think about it for a sec. I'm sorry to get so off topic, but it just sort of led me to this. Okay, so you got 72 versions, right? You die. I don't know the transitions, but you're there. 72 lined up. I don't know if they're in their rooms or whatever. You get to visit them, or they're right there in front of you. So you have sex with them one time. Have sex with each of them one time. They're not virgins anymore.
Oh.
So the virgin part is gone after the first time you have sex with.
We got magical hymen in heaven.
Yeah, with each of them. So that's done. The 72 virgin part, you don't possess that anymore.
Yeah. I don't even understand why there's a bunch of strangers in your heaven. People you love.
Yeah. Did the women have a choice in this? Did the 72?
Yeah, who are those women, man?
Is this hell for them?
More subjugation of the female.
Yeah.
Shit is crazy, man.
It's wild.
So back to the apocalypse over there. We can go back on that. Unless I
I think you're right. Death, because fear of death.
Fear of death, man.
And I don't look forward to death, and but I understand it. I don't fear it, and I like to think, where was I, 200 million years ago? I was right back there. Where was I then?
I actually think that's quite beautiful.
That's beautiful,
poetic,
man.
whatever they're doing, and to me, that's more special that we made this 300 million year journey around wherever you want to start tracing human evolution. So obviously longer than 300 million years, but we came on this journey. I think that's much more special than being like vamped into existence, like a poof. And then, I fucked up, so I have to redo it, and now create a woman out of a rib instead of creating you. Yeah, whatever. And so,
one thing about afterlife, is, first of all, I'd be bored after the first trillion years.
Come on, man.
And if I didn't get bored, I wouldn't be me. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't be the same person,
Right.
So then, hell for me would be knowing that buddies of mine and family and friends of mine who didn't believe the way I believe were down burning in hell. Yep. And then they might say, constantly tortured for eternity. Yep. And they said, well, you wouldn't know them. Well, that wouldn't be me. If I didn't know them, that wouldn't be me. So, it just makes that
fucking Men in Black out here.
I was going to say that. It's like, people that were looking forward to the world ending or whatever, they're supposed to wake up the next day after the rapture and be like, yes, the Williamses are gone.
Right.
Oh, no, wait, they weren't supposed to wake up the next morning. Right? They're supposed to be raptured. But whatever, they're raptured. They're like, yes, the Williamses are still down there or whatever. We're up here. Like, it's, I don't know, it's definitely celebrating the demise of more people than not. And, I think
it's a death wish.
Yeah, it is.
You look forward to Jesus coming back.
You make
everybody else out.
You make death seem awesome and beautiful.
Yeah.
You make death
what you do when you appeal to poor people.
Yes.
And kind of brings us back to blacks because we're at the bottom of the social ladder. But the other thing I wanted to say about that is just like, it's perfect because this guy's so old. It's just like people don't want to comprehend the world that goes on without them. Yeah. The world fucking goes on without you, Every generation thinks the world's gonna end in their time, and they've all been wrong. Every single one of them has been wrong.
Yeah, your generation's the last.
Jesus' generation was wrong. Last generation was wrong. Harold Camping is wrong. Like, it's.
Nostradamus stays wrong.
Right.
And he's like a big shot.
He's ratings on the History Channel.
He's on the History fucking channel, man. Why is he on the History Channel?
He wrote down like millions of obscure words.
That prediction is just like
drove through his millions of obscure words and like, let's fit it to today. And it's
just like the vague prediction award.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Non-specific ass prediction.
That's almost everything I wanted to touch on. I kind of wanted to, since the whole Israel borders thing is coming up, and I think that comes back to religion a lot, I wanted to talk about that for a second. Just see people like Glenn Beck, just up in arms at anyone that says that Israel shouldn't occupy land that's not part of Israel. And all this religious appeal. Oh, the Jews. I'm half Jewish, okay? I know that Jews have been fucked and chased out of almost everywhere, alright? But does that give them the right to then act like the people that chased them out of the places? It doesn't make any sense. And I don't understand how appealing to God justifies it, but that's what the whole Israel lobby seems to be, in my opinion. So, do you guys have, feelings on that?
I just think it's strange that God would pick a particular people.
Right. Right. Especially when you're not one of those people. It's like the Christians, I know they want Jesus to come back to Jerusalem, and so they don't want Jerusalem to be part of Palestine. I get that. But that's all religious.
Yeah. It's all religious.
It's crazy.
It's all religious, man. 100%.
I mean, so much money in this country gets spent on that issue.
Protecting the Holy Land.
And it's wild. Our taxpayer dollars go to Israel, and I have Israeli cousins. I'm glad that they're safer than less safe, but the way we treat them is just crazy. But if you guys don't have much to say on that,
I mean, I don't see what else it could be but religion, man. I don't understand it. It's not as if it's humanitarian.
The main point is these are not pragmatic decisions, and especially when we are in massive debt, that's what we should be making. Pragmatic decisions. if Israel got, I won't even go there. But if Israel ever got attacked, we would destroy the country.
Yeah.
I don't understand what this is.
It would be crude.
It's ass kicked. Like no one is doing that.
Well, that's when that religious zealous comes in. If you honestly hold in your heart that your God or Allah wants you to do that, the best thing that could happen would be, for you to go out with a sword in your hand attacking Israel. That's what that whole thinking becomes a problem.
Yeah, I don't. It's not humanitarian because people they're still fucking up the lives of the Palestinians.
Yeah.
They're still fucking them over.
Yeah.
So you fucking up other humans to protect these humans. That's not a fucking humanitarian mission. It's not like we feel remorse or feel like we owe them something, man. I think it's all straight Holy Land Protection Squad.
Right.
Shit,
It's
man.
not.
We don't want the Muslims to have it.
Yeah, we don't want those damn Muslims.
And as an atheist, I'm not afraid of your God. I'm worried about what you're gonna do for your God. I'm worried about you. I'm not worried about him taking care of business. It's you thinking you're representing him taking care of business.
Yes.
You're actually gonna cause damage.